Hi everyone, this is for my students of architecture. Others can kind of scroll down. Maybe you can hit a like. Yeah. Alright. You see, I had been practicing as an architect for the past 2 decades across India and abroad. With my hands-on experience in designing numerous projects, I had gained some real-life insight, which I keep sharing with my students of architecture. Well, let's talk about architectural internship today. Students of architecture who are almost on the verge of completion of their course keep asking me, "Sir, what should I do in order to manage a great architectural internship?" A big question. Of course, a great internship can set the stage for the rest of your professional career. I have fond memories of my first internship in a multinational design studio. I remember enjoying my task, learning at the same time for lengthy 10 to 12 hours or even more each and every one of those days. I had learned a lot over those months, not just about drawing and modeling, but also how an architectural design studio sustains, which is very important. It is important to understand how a design studio brings in more work in order to sustain in the long run. Right? Students, if you're willing to listen, most architects like me will be more than happy to guide you, to share their knowledge and experiences, to pass on that professional skill from one generation to the next. So let's look at some very 5 important cardinal strategies which I honestly feel could help you to land in the right place. Yeah, I have published a very detailed article on this particular topic. Go back to my page and check it out sometime. Point number 1, create a detailed CV and a portfolio. The first step is the beginning of any job search, or it's not just about architecture, any job search for that matter. The very first step is how to address yourself, how to sell yourself in the job market, is to know what is your strength, your weaknesses, which you can transfer, you can translate to the market and tell the market, yes, I have those particular abilities, right? You should be creating a list of strengths that you have. It is a great way to identify what you can offer to the potential employer. An exhaustive list of each and everything is worth mentioning about yourself, and is very especially important for someone with little or no relevant architectural experience. You will need to leverage experience gained in unrelated areas as well. Teamwork, for example, building experience, and a lot of you had some hands-on experience when you went for a construction field visit maybe, and all these other stuff. Students of architecture can take a note of this. This is a somewhat simplified version of what I'm trying to tell you. You see, you don't be afraid to put down what is absolutely necessary and what is absolutely within your capability. You need to list out something which is like a list of every single job that you have done, which is either related or not related to architecture. Put down every project you have ever done, every professional qualification you have ever had. Maybe it is a software skill, maybe it is something else, maybe whatever you have, maybe an artistic skill or hands-on training into design, photography, whatever it is. Every degree you have, every continuing education class or seminar that you had attended, every professional affiliation that you might have or been a part of during your study process, sketches, drawings that you had done, renderings or Photoshop work, maybe 3D works, voluntary work, design competitions that you had attended. Going to NASA is one of the very important things that you could do, probably challenges of various problems that you had attended. Yeah. Now, once you have that particular list, you'll be surprised how much experience you really have. You really have already, which you were not able to suddenly find out in yourself. Right? This should be kept as a professional resource for the future as well, because maybe at a certain later point of time you will never remember those things again. So you need to keep a list of it, and this is what is called documentation. There is a very famous saying in project management: documentation is the key to success. It will help you win every litigation, complete every project, and be successful in your particular project. Point number 2, networking like a professional. I've seen a trend with architectural hiring these days. Most of the new hires come from word of mouth. Skills everybody has, more or less. Word of mouth is what is important. So networking is the key to the word of mouth. This is why the first and the best place to start is within the existing network that you have, which is your existing network, your school of architecture. If you are still in college, ask your professors to see if they know someone in the industry who is hiring. Senior architecture professors will be definitely connected to a lot of other architects in the industry, and they may even have their own practices. Yeah. In retrospect, let me tell you something. You must do your best to remain in good standing with any current or past professors that you have. Any contact could become surprisingly important. It can turn out to become an important source, an important network for your next opportunity. This is my recommendation. Everyone must have an online profile. You don't have to fill out every single project you have ever worked on, but a brief history of work done that is very beneficial. It will be very helpful for you to just send the link instead of sending a bulky portfolio or a CV to your prospective employers maybe. While you may not have many professional architectural contacts yet, feel free to connect with your university alumni, professors, and architects in the community. People are in general very helpful. Point number 3, market research. In parallel to your networking, you need to be extensively researching on the firms you want to work for. But this is part of the process. You want to create a summary of all these firms and list out details, something like this. So what is the name of that particular firm? What is the location? How long has the firm been in the industry? How many employees are there? What are the type of projects do they specialize on? Do you know anyone who works in that particular company, or does your professors know anybody in that particular company? What is the ownership structure of that particular company? And lastly, are they willing to hire interns in the first place? Students often ask me, how many firms should I apply to? Using these research techniques that I have told you just now, I typically recommend having a group of top 20 of those offices where you want to work for across various cities maybe. You can rank them down in order of the most desirable to the least desirable, applying in that particular order as per your choice. There's no hard and fast rule like size of the company or maybe the branding of the company. It can be of your choice. Top 20 of those particular companies you want to work for. Yeah, I found that the best method is to keep a track of the entire process in a spreadsheet, maybe in Excel. The last thing you want to do is become confused and apply to the same place twice, or maybe even leave out a great opportunity. With 20 or maybe more if you want potential employers, it's quite easy to become disorganized. I can understand. You can include a column for the company name, the location, the date of the application, if you have received any response from them, and any contact information and so on. Point number 4, a very important one, it is systematic approach. Now, students keep telling me, sir, I have sent my resume to hundreds of companies and they haven't responded to anything yet. This is the thing that you are doing wrong. Your application is not becoming targeted. Your application has to be targeted, systematic, and a well-researched one. Let me tell you, focus on how you can emphasize your relevant work for each one of those employment applications. Don't just send a generic application to hundreds of offices. Such an approach never works. Let me tell you that. Use your research that I had just told you to target your applications to each and every one of those firms and follow up, which is very, very important, with each one of them until closure. What is closure? It can either be a positive statement or a negative statement, and they can say a yes or a no to it. The next point where I'll go to explain this particular one, but follow up and until closure. Follow up until closure is very, very important, not only for your job search, maybe later on if you go into project management, doing projects hands-on, this is what is going to bake in. Finally, point number 5, persistence will be the winner. I keep hearing over and over that firms do not let candidates know if they had been rejected in the first place, and I know it is true. Therefore, you should always follow up. As I was saying previously, that the submission of your application, what is the status of that? You need to know, right? Over a phone call, it's so easy. Just pick up. Best is to let them know when you will be calling them in your cover letter itself. To me, it's a very professional approach of attending any kind of a job search process. Then follow up that particular call with a second one if you haven't heard anything approximately within a week or so. This may sound a little bit over-aggressive approach, but it is essential to know that you are very, very persistent. Yeah? remember that 9 out of 10 offices may reject you, but that one office who will call you will make your day. I completely agree that the process of getting an architecture internship can be very challenging, can be very unpredictable, and can be very frustrating for a student. There are many factors that go into landing a particular position, which include the market conditions, office projects, and staffing needs. And you need to also look at their situation, what it is. Many of these variables are out of your control, so it is important to focus on the things which you are able to control and influence. And what is that you are going to control and influence? It includes your ability to put together a convincing application that highlights your relevant experiences, strengths, and presents your unique abilities in your CV and your portfolio. Remember, life is all about moving from failure to failure until success. Remember, there is always a next time. So don't get disheartened. So if you are willing to put in that extra time and stay focused on that particular effort, you will definitely succeed. Having said all of that, I strongly believe that there's a lot to learn, and an architect will always be a student, continuously learning. Let me know your thoughts on this particular topic. Comment in the box below. I'll get back to you. See you.